If you have seen some previous videos of this tutorial where we were adding the details of a new book into our application, then to validate that data, we were using some inbuilt validation attributes onto our model class. But there are some scenarios where these inbuilt validation attributes are not enough. In order to achieve the requirement, we need to create some custom validation attribute. Why do we need that? Because the logic that we have written into the validation attribute is not enough to validate our data. So in that scenario, we need to create some custom validation attribute. We will create and use a custom validation attribute in this video. We'll learn how can we use the default properties that we have in validation attribute. For example, we have error message. So if you have seen all the validation attributes, then the error message property is common to all the validations. So we will see how to use these default properties in a custom validation attribute. We will also create some custom properties and several other concepts that are required to work with validation attribute we will learn in this video. So let's open the Visual Studio and let's work on custom validation attribute. Here we are back to our bookstore web application, and before creating a new custom validation attribute, let's have a look on the existing inbuilt one. So let's just open the models folder, and inside the models we have book model, and on this book model we have used couple of inbuilt validation attributes. Let's see the details of one of them. So let's click on the required and click on the F12 button. So here we are into the implementation of this required attribute. Just focus on the name. So the name of the class is required attribute. Okay, we are using only required onto our model class, but in the name we are appending attribute as well. And this is a normal class, public class, and this class is inherited from the validation attribute class. Okay, so inside this required attribute we have three things. First one is a constructor. We have one more property, allow empty string, and at the last we have one override method. So public override bool is valid. Okay, so these three things are available in this required attribute. Now let's have a look some details on this validation attribute as well. Let's right click on this one and choose go to definition. Perfect. So this is also an class, and this class has three constructors and it has some properties and few methods. Let's have a look on the details of the methods. So we have three methods over here. First one is format error message, second one is valid, and third one is this one is valid. Okay, now if I talk about these is valid methods, then the return type of this one is boolean and it only expects one value. Let's talk about second one. So the return type of this one is validation result and it expects two parameters. Let's see the details of the second parameter over here. First one is the value that we will pass from the view to our model. Validation context. So here is the details of the validation context, the context information about the validation operation. If you need this detail, then you can use this method. If you do not need the details of the validation context into your validation attribute, then you can go simply with this one. Let's see few more details, and this validation attribute is inherited from this attribute class, and that is why we are able to use these attributes as an attribute onto our model class. So if we need to create one custom validation attribute, then we need to go in some similar manners. So we need to create a new public class and we need to inherit that custom class from this validation attribute, and we need to override this is valid method. Let's do that. Let's create a new folder over here into this application. Let's create a new folder over here in this application. Right click on this one and choose add new folder. So here I can write helper. Inside this helpers folder, let's add a new class. Let's give it a name. Suppose I'm writing my custom validation attribute. Let's click on the add button. The new class has been added into the application successfully, and now we need to make some changes to this class. First change is that we need to inherit it from this validation attribute. Let's do that. Okay, let's use the namespace. Perfect. Now we need to override some method. What method do we have? Let's use override. So here we have a couple of methods. We need to work with the is valid. So we have two is valid method. If you need the validation context, then you can use second one. If you do not need this validation context, then you can use first one. Let's use the second one. We will get the value that needs to be validated in this value parameter, and the type of this value is object. So whatever data we have into the property, that will be available as an object. Suppose you are passing string, but over here it will be available in form of object. So before performing any operation, we need to convert that data into the desired format. Now let's see the details of this return type of this method. The return type is validation result. Let's see the details of this one as well. So right click and choose go to definition. Inside this validation result class, we have two things. First one is we have a field with name success. So if data is valid, then we can return this success, and the return type is validation result. So to access this static member, we need to use the name of the class. So name of the class dot success, and we will get the success result. In case we have some error while validating the data, then we need to use these constructors. We can simply pass the error message over here into this constructor, and we will get the error message onto our UI. Let's see how to do this. First, we need to check whether we have some data into this value parameter or not. So we can do that easily. Value is not equals to. Let's just remove this line. Now we have two scenarios. First one is if the value is not null, then we will perform some operations on this one. If the value is null, then we need to return an error message that this value is null. And how can we do that? We can pass the error message into the constructor of this validation result class, like this. Now let's talk about what kind of validation I want to use. Suppose I'm creating a validation just to validate the name of a book, that it must have MVC into the name. The logic might be anything in your case, but just for the demo purpose, I'm using this concept that the name of the book must contain MVC. We can achieve this functionality by using some regular expression as well, but here we need to learn how to work with the custom validation attribute. So I will be using this concept over here. Okay. The type of the name of the book property is string. It means the data will be in format of string, but here we have object. So that string data will be converted into the object. And now if I want to perform some operations on the name of this book, then again I need to convert this object value to the string. Let's do that. Suppose here I'm writing string book name is equals to value dot to string. And again we can simply check if this book name contains MVC, then I would say that it is successful. Then what we need to return? We need to return the success field from this validation result class, and that is a static member. And to call the static member, we always use the name of the class. So validation result dot success, and that is it. If the book name does not contain MVC, then either you can write one more message over here like the book name does not contain MVC, or you can make this message generic like value. Let's do it like this. Book name does not contain the desired value. We have created our custom validation attribute. Now let's learn how to use it. To use this one, we simply need to use this name. Let's copy this one, go back to the model class, and on the name of the book, so here is the title. Suppose I want to remove first these two validations just to test. Okay, and let's use the new one. We need to resolve the namespace because it is available at some other location. So using webdental.bookstore.helpers. Perfect. Now without doing anything else, let's run this application in debug mode. Let's click on the add new book link. Let's disable all the breakpoints. Click on the continue button. Just for the testing, first I'm not entering any data into the title property of this book, and I can simply click on this add book button. So here you can see that we are getting an error. Book name does not contain the desired value, and this message is coming from the custom validation attribute. Let's debug that custom validation attribute. Just for the testing, I'm going to put one breakpoint over here into the post method and second one in this custom validation attribute. Perfect. Let's again click on the add book button. Just notice that before going to the post method, we got the hit over here in this custom validation attribute. Let's click on the F10 button. Inside the value field, we have null because we are not passing anything into the name of the book. That is why we are having null over here. And if it is null, then it will come from the execution of this if block directly to the return message over here, and we simply are returning this error message. Let's click on the continue button again, and now you can notice that we got the breakpoint over here in this post method. Let's click on the F10. Let's check the model state. It is false. Let's see what all errors we got over here in this model state. So we have error count 4. Let's see the details. Here is the error message that book name does not contain the desired value. Click on the continue button. This time let's enter some wrong data. So suppose here I'm writing jQuery. Click on the continue button. And this time you can see that into the value field we are having jQuery. Click on the next button. So it is not null. Perfect. Let's click again on the F10. So this data has been converted from object to the string, and in the book name we have jQuery, but this does not contain MVC. So again we will come outside from this block and we will get the same error. Let's click on the continue button again, and here you can notice that we are again getting the same error. Let's use MVC over here. Suppose I'm writing MVC and click on the add book this time. Okay, F10. Here you can notice that the name of the book contains MVC, that is why we are here inside this if block, and here is the text in the book name field. This time we will get the success value from this custom validation attribute. Let's click on the continue button again, and you can notice that we do not have any error over here. Now let's learn how can we add some custom error message to our custom validation attribute. Let's go back to the model class. Over here you can notice one thing in all the validation attributes, that this error message property is common to all the validation attributes, and we generally use this error message property to update the custom message. We need to implement this logic into our custom validation attribute as well. Let's go to the validation attribute class. Perfect. Here we are, and we should have the access of this error message, so we can do that error message, and that's it. Why we are having the access of this error message property over here? Because it is available in the validation attribute class. Let's click on the F12. Here you can notice that this is the property that we want to use to update the custom error message. Perfect. So now what will happen, if we are having some data in this error message, then that will be displayed onto the UI. If we do not have any data over here, then this custom message will be displayed. Perfect. Now I'm gonna add some custom message on my model class. Let's go to the model class, and here in this my custom validation I can pass error message is equals to for custom validation. Let's run this application by pressing Ctrl F5. Again click on the add book button without adding any data. This time you can notice that we are getting the custom message. This is custom error message for custom validation. And in case you will not pass this error message over here, then you will get the default error message. Let's build the solution. Go back to the browser. Again click on the add book button, and here is the default error message. Now let's learn how can we add some custom properties to this validation attribute as well. So by now if you have seen that we were using this MVC as an hardcode value. Now suppose I do not want to use this MVC as an hard-coded value, so I can make this one dynamic. And in order to make this value dynamic, I need to get this data from the model class. So first I need to create a property over here. Let's give it a name. Suppose I'm writing text. Inside this text I want to get the value of this property, and let's update this logic as well. So here I can simply use text. Perfect. Again let's go to the model class, and this time over here we need to pass the text property, and suppose here I'm writing Azure. Let's run this application in debug mode now. Click on the add book button. So we are over here in this isValid method. Let's see what we got into the text property. In the text property we are having Azure. Perfect. But we do not have anything into the value property, so it is going to be false. Let's click on the continue button, and here you can notice that we are getting this error message. Perfect. Now what will happen if I do not pass this text value from my model? Suppose I am not passing this text property from this validation attribute. Now what will happen? The logic will not work. Why? In this text property we will have null and we will simply check whether this book name contains a null, and this is not a valid logic. Somehow I need to make this value as an required, and I can do that by using constructor. Into the constructor I can pass a variable over here. Suppose here I am writing text and I can assign this text value to this text property. Now what will happen if I do not pass the value into the constructor? Then I will get an compile time error. Let's go to the model class. Here you can notice that we are getting an compile time error because it is expecting an value into the constructor. So here we need to pass a value in the constructor, and suppose here I'm writing Azure, or you can write anything else. Suppose I'm writing ABC. So this time what will happen? This validation attribute will work to test whether ABC is available in the name or not. Let's run this application in debug mode again. Suppose here I'm writing a name ABCDE. Click on the add book button. Okay, so let's see what we got into the value field. We have the name of the book, and what we have over here in this text property, we have ABC, and this ABC is dynamic. It is coming from the model class. So here we can say that this is a common validation attribute that we can use on any value just to check whether it contains this value or not. Let's click on the continue button, and the name contains ABC. That is why we are not having any error over here. So this is the way of creating a custom validation attribute in ASP.NET Core application. If you want to use more than one property into your custom validation attribute, then you can create n number of properties over here. And in case you want to make these properties required, then you can pass these properties over here in the constructor of this class. Based on your logic, you can create multiple constructor as well. Whatever logic we have in the C#, you can perform all of them over here and your custom validation attribute will work perfectly. You can also make the database calls from here in case you want to check something into your database, then you can make your calls as well. Final point is, whatever logic you want to write to validate your data, you can write over here in your custom validation attribute. That is all in this video. I hope after watching this video, you will be able to validate your data either by using inbuilt validation attributes or by using custom validation attributes. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you have any questions, suggestions or feedback, then you can write everything into the comment section. Share this video, subscribe to the channel and join the WebGentle membership on YouTube. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.